So through my online classes, my workshops, my portfolio reviews, people sharing their work with me online in private messages on Instagram, I see so many, if not most or all amateur photographers sort of stuck in the same exact place. They're past the learning through mimicking stage, and honestly, that part is fun. But it's easy to get caught there and never to evolve. But almost every portfolio I look at ends up as a hodgepodge of the same thing. It's a guy walking through a shaft of light, executed at different levels, a guy walking past a sign, something old in front of something new, a portrait of someone quasi-interesting in flat light and framed like this with like a 70 to 200, or they've gone on some adventure to another country and they think those are their best images, even though those photos, when you dig deeper, they're not actually as strong as the photos they took in their own backyard or their own neighborhood. And it's fine to go through that stage, to go through this process. You need to, but at some point you hit a wall. You're not satisfied, and then you end up looking for new gear or new places to fill the void. But that's not where the answer is. That's not where you should be looking. You need a plan, and Today, that's what I'm going to give you. Just a quick little reminder for those of you that are new here, I'm Justin Mott. I'm a full-time working professional photographer, and my channel is all about helping people with their photography, with the occasional gear talk, but everything I talk is real talk. It gets me in trouble sometimes, but I talk from the soul, I talk from experience, and I tell you how it is, or I tell you how I think it is. So if that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing. So step one is open up your hopefully well-organized archive. Go through every shoot you've done and pick your 5 favorite images from each one of those shoots. That could be anything. Chasing your cat around your house, portraits of a loved one, some epic trip you went on. Just consider this all as one. Don't just take what you think is your best and most recent. Go through everything. It's all part of the process. And pick your 5 favorite images from each one of those shoots and just dump them into a master folder on your desktop. And what's that? Your archive isn't well organized, it's a mess, and it's going to be hard for you to find those images? Well, pause right now and go through your archive and organize it. You should have your archive organized by shoot or date. Figure out the best way to organize it that works for your brain and go do that. Okay, you're back. Now take that folder, put it into whatever software you like to use to look at a bunch of images, your contact sheet software. I use Photo Mechanic. Take all those images and then narrow it down to your 50 favorite images and try to eliminate redundancy and try to have a nice variety in there. And then just sit with those images. Don't just look at them as a whole. Don't be rushed. This is a patient process. Photography is a patient craft. So sit with them, take your time, look for patterns. What style shows up again and again? Who were you trying to shoot like back then when you just started? How did you evolve? Who did you then try to shoot like? What did you learn? What do you feel when you look at these 50 images now? How could they be better? Be as hard on yourself as I would be on you or I would be on myself, which is really hard. And appreciate the process. Don't let this be a discouraging exercise. Even though I'm tough on people, I don't ever want to discourage anyone, but be truthful with yourself, be truthful with the work. Did you go through a shaft of light phase like I talked about before? Did you go through that shoot everything at 1.4 phase with your new expensive lens? Did you go through that 70 to 200 phase where just everything looked good compressed? Or did you go through a super wide angle phase for all your landscape shots? Think about what you were learning. Think about what you were trying to capture. Think about what you feel about those images now. Sit with those 50 images on your computer and be judgy. Then imagine this. A local gallery just rings you up and they want to feature your work, but they only want 10 images that truly represent you as a photographer. So go through those 50 images, again, very carefully, very patiently, and don't just pick the ones, like I said before, from your trip to India or some place where the location did the heavy lifting, but the photos are average. Imagine a sophisticated audience who's already been there. They won't be impressed by the postcard version. And once you get to that number, this exercise, this process is so important. Ask yourself good questions about the work. Do they share a consistent style? Do those 10 images represent just one period of your photography or your growth over time? Are there things you stopped shooting for whatever reason that you actually enjoyed? Is there potential in some images that, if you focused on them more, or more patient could be really great. Is there a subject or type of photography you like to spend more time on? Maybe you love portraits, but you gave up on them because they weren't liked on your Instagram account, or you thought you weren't that good at it at the time. But maybe you learned something through street photography about capturing light in moments, or you improved your composition that you could apply to your portraits. Ask yourself good questions. What did you truly enjoy shooting when you started? And what felt forced, or like you were just copying someone else, or just sort of feeding into the system out there of social media of what gets rewarded? And forget what big camera brands are trying to promote or push out there. Many brands reward repetition and discourage new ideas, or they reward originality, but then everyone looks at those brands and then they copy, and they were original, and you want to be original, or I hope you want to be original. So give that some deep thought. Take a break, go for a walk, think about it. I still shoot guy walking through a shaft of light, so don't think I'm like above all this. Don't think that I don't still do some of this. I'm just saying you can expand your photography, and that's the problem. You probably haven't. That's probably why you're stuck. And now the exercise isn't over. So now with those 10 images, ask yourself, if someone looked at these photos at that exhibition, what would they feel? What would they learn about your subjects? What would they learn about you as a photographer and your vision? Name the emotion. Give them names. Think about it. Look at those images. Would they feel happy when they looked at them? Curious, playful? Would they feel nothing at all? Maybe. I hope not, but maybe. Be completely honest with yourself. Then ask what you want them to feel, if anything at all. Again, some people just like to go shoot because they find it therapeutic. But if you're here, if you've watched this far, I think you want to grow. You just don't know how to, and that's what I'm trying to help you with. So ask yourself, what did you want them to feel, and did you achieve that? Is the work redundant, boring, cliche? Be critical. Would you be proud of this exhibition? And it's okay if you wouldn't be. Many amateur photographers, many pro photographers never even have an exhibition. But what's missing for most people is what comes next, the leap forward. Now, put yourself in a new headspace. Here's the next step. Imagine you get to do another exhibition 1 year later at the same place. This time you're inviting people you want to impress, your loved ones, other photographers maybe, or maybe you don't care, or people that might intimidate you, or there's going to be critics up there. Whatever headspace you need to be in to put a little bit of pressure. People often dismiss pressure, but it's good to have pressure. It's good to have a goal. It's good to push yourself. That's how you get better. And now think deeply. What do you want that next project to be? What do you want that next exhibition to look? What do those 10 images look like? Are they all part of one story? Are they a collection of what you really love about photography? And then re-ask yourself those questions you asked before about your last 10 images. What emotion do you want people to feel? What would the blurb about your exhibition say by a critic? What's the subject matter? What's the quality? What's the style? What could you display and walk away from and be proud of? Whatever that is. Maybe it's artistically, maybe it's emotionally. I don't know. You have to answer these deep questions. And the next step now is to plan it, strategize, shoot more intentionally with that goal in mind, that year, those 10 images, those thoughts about what you want people to think and feel about those images and how you're going to achieve that. That's its own separate episode. I'll talk about that later. And when I'm saying this, a lot of you guys must say, oh, this seems like a lot of work, or it seems too deep or too heavy. But if you want to get better, and if you've answered these questions truthfully about what you want in your photography, the process will at times feel like work, but it'll also be a lot of fun because you've been truthful and you're passionate about this type of work. And so when I say these things about the cliche shots and those things, I'm not knocking other photographers. Again, I'm guilty of a lot of these shots, but I'm always trying to expand. I'm always trying to work on myself in my photography with my personal work so that I can grow in my commercial work and I can just grow as a person. So think deeply, follow this process step by step. Maybe you can do it all in one day. Maybe you need a couple weeks to do it. I don't know. You have to figure that out, figure out what headspace you're in, figure out how you want to tackle this. If you want to take that next step, this is a great way to do that, is analyzing your work, going back through it, thinking about where you've been, and using that to figure out where you want to go next. I hope you guys found this episode helpful. These kind of episodes don't get a lot of traction because I'm not reviewing gear, but these are the kind of episodes that truly come from my heart. This is what I like to talk about. If you did, give me a like, add a comment in there. It helps the algorithm. If you want more guidance, more feedback, more discipline and accountability with your photography, I do offer online coaching, one-off sessions with open Q&A and portfolio reviews. And then for people that want more of a commitment, I offer long-term mentorships as well. You can see all that in my workshops and more at askmott.com. This isn't a sales pitch. Before you sign up with me, sell this to yourself first. Commit to taking the next step. That's what I care about the most. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day.